Welcome to News Channel 8. I'm Jerome Aegean, and here's some of the top stories we have for you tonight. The manhunt is over for a domestic violence suspect. A man's body is found on St. Thomas, and Alexander Henderson holds a mock election. These stories and more up next on News Channel 8. In our top story tonight, the All Points Bulletin for Dylan Winston Vieira is finally over. It was 1 week ago that the 59-year-old Vieira brutally stabbed his 28-year-old ex-girlfriend multiple times in front of her 5-year-old little boy. Well, the community of Christiansted decided to take the law into their own hands last night. News Channel 8's Wes Small has more on that story and more police news as well.
Thanks a lot, Jerome. We're at Ann Schrader Command. Good news by the VIPD. We finally got this animal off the street. Dylan Winston Vieira was arrested late last night on Queen Street. I can hear the applause right now. Yep, but not before he was beaten by a mob, and then at least they had the decency to call the police. Apparently it was on Queen Street, downtown Christiansted, when a female called 911 around 9 o'clock last night, said she'd heard a man moaning in the bushes. When police arrived on the scene, they found fugitive from that All Points Bulletin as he viciously stabbed that 28-year-old woman in Harborview days before, right in front of that 4 or 5-year-old boy. He was in the bushes. The police initially thought they had a sick or injured man. He was injured, all right. He was beaten by a group of people who left him in the bushes, but like I said, they called the ambulance, called 911, and right now we believe he is still in Juan Louis Hospital waiting to be moved then to BOC, where he belongs in Golden Grove. Good news that Dylan Winston Vieira is finally off of our streets. Good job by the VIPD and the community. Now, Marlon Williams, you might remember him. It was he and Jamal Lopez that were caught in that deadly shootout in the early morning hours near Hovenza Training Facility off of the Melvin Evans Highway on October 10th. Marlon Williams was shot and wounded. His accomplice, Jamal Lopez, was shot and killed in that shootout. Marlon Williams, listen to these charges. He's got a dozen of them or more. First-degree murder. And we'll get to that. Attempted murder in a gun battle. First-degree attempted murder. First, second degree, first and third degree assault. First-degree reckless endangerment. Unauthorized possession of a firearm. Possession of a firearm with violent use, failure to report a firearm obtained outside the territory, altering the ID marks on a weapon, first-degree robbery, possession of stolen property, and unauthorized use of a vehicle. At least 12 charges there against Marlon. The question you ask, who did he kill? Well, you might remember it escalated as he and Lopez were involved in that shootout. We believe that one of the bullets that was lodged in that officer's vest was fired from Marlon Williams' gun. At least 2 weapons were taken out of that vehicle. So you might have to add that the escalation led to the death of Jamal Lopez. Thus, we have Williams being charged with first-degree murder. Complicated? Yes, it is. That's why I'd like to throw it to Melody Rames of the VIPD.
Police on St. Croix have located Dylan Winston Vieira, and he is presently in the Governor Juan F. Louis Hospital being treated for injuries he sustained prior to being located by police. According to Domestic Violence Unit Supervisor Sergeant Deborah Jack, 911 dispatch operators received a call at about 7:35 p.m. on Wednesday, October 27th, alerting them to an injured man in the bushes on Queen Street in Christiansted Town. An ambulance was called and bike patrol officers located the injured suspect. At the hospital, Vieira told police that on Saturday or Sunday, he does not recall the exact day, 2 masked men assaulted him and made him drink an unknown substance. Police located Vieira's vehicle on Friday, October 22nd, but continued to search for the suspect. Police have launched an investigation for the suspects who assaulted Vieira. They urge anyone who has information on this case to call the Domestic Violence Unit at 712-6017, 712-6026, or you can call Crime Stoppers USVI at 1-800-222-TIPS.
Like I said, one of those police officers was hit in his chest. Lucky for him, minutes before, he had put that bulletproof vest on. Now, It's a good thing that this thing kind of wrapped up, because these guys, I tell you, from all indications, they robbed several businesses and individuals. And then, most important, Chief Benta and investigators believe that Lopez and Williams had something to do with the killing of 20-year-old Deshane Watts on October 8th. That was in Estate Grove. And a lot of people were robbed during that crime spree. They're still trying to patch that together. And then, remember, after Deshane Watts was killed in Grove, then that same Honda that they had found, that they had the shootout with on the highway that led this whole thing about the stolen vehicle, that was seen leaving Deshane Watts' crime scene in Grove, and it was also seen leaving the Williams Delight crime scene minutes after they shot Deshane Watts. Plus, arrested then now is Labari Roebuck. $75,000 bail. He has some charges against him. We believe he has been in connection with that Williams Delight shooting as well. Wow, Melody and also Deputy Police Chief Hal and Chief Benson and the investigators, they've got a lot to unravel with this one, so we'll just have to be impatient. Most important is the arrest of the domestic violence suspect, Dylan Winston Vera. He was found beaten in bushes late last night, and he is in Juan Louis Hospital. At Ann Schrader Command, I'm Wes Small for News Channel 8.
Thanks, Wes. And in other news, a man's body was found in the Content Knolls section of St. Thomas late Tuesday night. Here's Melody Rames, IPO for the Virgin Islands Police Department with more.
On October 26th at about 10:50 p.m., police on St. Thomas were dispatched to a reported man down in the area northeast of Viking Corporation on the roadway leading to Content Knolls. Police and emergency medical technicians responded and found an unresponsive Hispanic male lying on the side of the roadway face down. Emergency medical technicians determined that the man had no vital sign. Detectives from the Criminal Investigation Bureau, Forensic, and Major Crime were called to the scene and are investigating this matter. The name of the deceased male will be released upon confirmation of his identity and notification of the next of kin. Chief Karad is asking for anyone having information on this matter to call Sergeant Diana Martinez, supervisor of the Major Crime Unit, at 642-8449, 715-5544, 715-5545, or 715-5546. You can also call Crime Stoppers USVI at 1-800-222-TIPS.
Thanks, Melody Rames, Virgin Islands Police Department spokesperson. And several employees at the Virgin Islands Water and Power Authority called a sick out today. News Channel 8's Wes Small files this report.
We are in Sunny Isle at the Water and Power Authority main office here, and I don't know if you know about it by now, but the men and women out in the field and also some at the plant themselves have staged a sick out, a job action today, mostly affected, we believe, on St. Croix. We do know that earlier this morning that some of the folks were outside of the Richmond power plant with their concerns. They say that they have not had their raises met on time. Well, I guess they could join the ranks of the VIPD, the fire department, government employees as well. It's election time, so this is when you see some of these actions. Nonetheless, I just talked to Cassandra Dunn, and all they know is, from the administration's point of view, is that it's not an official job action, just a few men and women today called in sick. We're at WAPA. They have a planned demonstration march planned for 5 o'clock today. At the Sunny Isle WAPA branch, I'm Wes Small for News Channel 8.
Thanks, Wes. Well, the Alexander Henderson Elementary School on St. Croix held their annual political forum and mock election today. News Channel 8's Wes Small has the story.
Here are the coordinators of the Alexander Henderson mock election and forum. Miss Cannon here, and also
Miss Francis.
Short-term memory loss. Well, Miss Cannon, we'll start with you. This is a huge event. Almost every candidate made it here. Just one didn't. And it's packed in there. The governor's here and everyone, and all the media is here, and the students got their ears up and they're listening to all the campaign promises. How many years have y'all been putting this on?
I would say a long time.
A long time.
Very long. We're doing it every campaign. Every 4 years for the gubernatorial and the senatorial every 2 years.
You know, you could see the strength in this forum. and this election, this mock election, because all the candidates come out here and got their paperwork out here and their agenda. Do you really think that it makes a difference on election day, even though these are children and of course they can't register? What happens with that?
Well, first of all, I want to say that we've been doing this for more than a decade. That's how long we've been doing this. I must say that in 2006, Alexander Henderson School was the closest mock election to reality. We only missed it by one. Needless to say that we're not only having a mock election, but we go around and we educate our children. We educate them about the political parties, about the symbols, and what it signifies. So it's an educational process. It's not just being in the melee or the gossip with
Your favorites.
Exactly. No, we educate our children. As a matter of fact, needless to say that there was a particular student who had registered to be a Republican because the Republican indicated that in the 1850s they were anti-slavery. Now she took that quite seriously.
Yeah.
So what happened was that we didn't have that much Republicans, so we switched her to become an independent. Well, let me tell you, when she signed her voting card and she saw that it was not a Republican, she literally cried. So that's just to show you that these children were educated about the various political parties. They took it quite seriously, and we had to get her Republican card.
We are really thrilled to be here, and all I could say is that we really look forward to the results. And now the students start voting around, what, 12:30?
12:30 sharp.
All right, well, there you go. And just remember that little girl that said, hey, that's not what I signed up for. I'm a Republican. That's classic. That's a classic. Well, here we are at Alexander Henderson School, and they're all inside of there, except one. And I'll let you know who that one is in just a few seconds. I'll let these ladies off the hook because they've got to get back in there to their future governors and their future senators.
Can I say something?
Yes.
I just want to take this time to thank Grant Drake and Westmore for being here. We graciously and humbly appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. That's our
very
job.
much.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. Okay. Well, there they go, the coordinators of that event there, and it's standing room only inside of Alexander Henderson. Well, what you've all been waiting for. Who is that lone politician that never made it in? Kenneth Mapp is not here. Just about every other senator and governor, candidate is there. But is Malik Saku here? No, Malik Saku and Kenneth Mapp are not here, but everyone else is here. Parking lot is full, and the children, they start voting, the students do, in about 2 hours roughly. Alexander Henderson School, the winners here might be the winners next week. I'm Wes Small for News Channel 8.
Thanks, Wes. And we do actually have all the elections for Alexander Henderson, as well as Complex and Central. We'll be bringing those mock election results to you later on in the week. And speaking of which, have you ever wondered what our senators rate on the national pay scale among their peers? Well, our beloved senators of the Virgin Islands number 2 in the U.S. at a whopping $85,000 a year. California is the highest state when it comes to senators' pay wages at $95,291 per year. And by the way, our Senate president makes $95,000 a year alone. And when we come back from this break, the territory receives a new fire truck. Stay with us.